and welcome to this video on the financial reporting matrix. Today I'll show some exciting new features for version 9. If you want to read more about these features, you can go into the release notes that I will link in the description. You can also read the full documentation in our GitHub wiki, which I'll also add a link to in the description. We'll add timestamps for all of the features in this video, so you can skip to the ones you find most interesting, or if you want to, you're more than welcome to watch the whole video. So let's just jump straight into the demo. The sort by functionality has been requested by a lot of users, and we have added that to version 9. And we have 3 different ways you can sort. 2 of them are for sorting columns, and 1 of them is for sorting rows. We'll start by showing the sort columns by row value. So if I click this financial reporting matrix and I go to the format pane, I see that the sort by appears here, and I can turn this on, and then you see that this button appears. And you can also customize this. I've added the border and made it large for this demo. You can also make it small and remove the border if you want it to be less visible. You can also make it only appear when you hover over the visual like this. So this is the exact same way you can format the comment and Excel buttons. We'll keep the border and make it large for this demo so it's easy to see. So in this first scenario, we want this matrix to sort the departments within each year based on the other operational income. So in this case, we want Stavanger to be first, then Bergen, and then Oslo for 2023. And then we want the 2024 to be, exactly how it is right now actually, since Bergen has negative other operational income, and then Oslo and Stavanger has 0 other operational income. So if I click the sort button and then sort columns by row value, and then we want to use the groups sorting scope, since we want to keep the hierarchy like it is. And then we want it to perform the sorting on the measure level. Lastly, we'll have to select other operational income and ascending order, and then click apply. You can see that Stavanger is now first for 2023, then Bergen, and then Oslo. And for 2024, it's Bergen, Oslo, Stavanger. So it's different for each year. And if we do some slight changes, and I select all on the sorting scope, then I also have to select all on the column level, because it will only apply the sorting to the level you select and all lower levels. So now if I click apply again, you see that it breaks up this grouping on the hierarchy. So now Bergen is first, Bergen 2024, then Stavanger 2023, and then Oslo and Stavanger 2024, since these are all 0, and then Bergen and Oslo 2023. Now I can just click this reset button to go back to the default state. The second sort column option is to sort them by column header. I will start by a simple example of sorting these on year. I want it in descending order, so I want the 2024 to be first and then 2023 to be second. So I select sort columns by column header, and then I want to do the sorting on the year level, and then descending. When I click apply, you see that it switches the sorting order. You can also do this on the measure level, so that will be on the lowest level in the column hierarchy. So we want it to be Bergen, Oslo, Stavanger, then it will be ascending order. So now you see it's unchanged. But if you want Stavanger, Oslo, Bergen, we select descending order and then click apply, and you see that it instantly switches up the column sorting. So now I've shown two examples of how to sort the columns, but we also have an option to sort rows. So if I select the third option here, sort rows by column value, and I have to select a column I want to base the sorting on. So for this demo, we'll select the 2023 Bergen. Then we want it in descending order. So we want the largest number first. Then we click apply, and you see that total operating expenses is the largest number for Bergen in 2023. Then it sorts it in descending order all the way down to the net profit or the loss in this case, which is a negative number. And the best part about all of these sorting features is that if I want to download this as an Excel file, I can just overwrite this existing one. Then if I open it, you see that the sorting is applied, so it shows in the order that it was with the sorting you applied to the visual. Many of you are probably already using the ragged hierarchy functionality on the row hierarchies. And up until now, that is the only way you have been able to use it. But now we have, in version 9, released the column ragged hierarchy functionality. So for this demonstration, we have the same 3 departments as we used in the sort by demo. You see that these have different regions and also different sub-regions. So Bergen and Stavanger are in the same region, but they have different sub-regions, where Stavanger is just repeating the region for the sub-region. Then Bergen has an empty value in the sub-region. So if we add this to the financial reporting matrix without any other tweaking, then you see that this is how it looks. So for Oslo, it looks quite nice. You have East, and then Oslo Fylke, and then Oslo. But for the West region, it's not as pretty, since this one is just repeating the parent, so it's not really providing any value. And this one is blank, so it just shows the name of the field. So in this case, sub-region. So what we want to achieve is just to remove this level for West. But for East, we want to show this level. So to do this, we have just copied this one and added a different row header color. Then if I go to the format pane and ragged hierarchy, see that we have 2 new options here. I'll just expand this so it's easier to see. And the first one here is hide column children matching parent. So that will be like this one with West in the subregion, since it's just repeating the parent. And if I click this one, you can see that now it's just showing the top level region, and then it skips the subregion, and then it shows the department. And then if I want to hide this empty or this blank value, I can also enable hide column blank. Now you see that this level in the hierarchy is blank. So then I only have to expand the top level, and it will show the departments here. But it will still keep the hierarchy for the east region. A lot of you have been requesting the ability to use the native Power BI drill down. Up until now, you've only been able to navigate in the hierarchy by using the expansion and collapse symbols here. But this has led to some performance issues for some users, as this loads all the data that is individual, even the data on the lower levels. So to show the performance improvement the drill down functionality can have, I will refresh the visuals here and see the timings in the performance analyzer. We see now that this without drill down is taking around 4.5 seconds to refresh. And then we have created a duplicate here called with drill down. I've not yet added the drill down, so that's why it's also taking quite a while. But if I go to the format pane and enable drill down, we can refresh all the visuals again. See it is taking just 605 milliseconds versus 2.5 seconds for the matrix without drill down. So it's quite a big performance improvement, and the larger your datasets are, the larger this improvement will most likely be. So let's say you have this simple financial matrix here, and it has some different row levels here, as well as three years, and it has this slicer where you can also go down and change which years you want to look at. So I could do like this, for instance, to only show 2023 and 2024. And then I want the first column to be colored in a light gray color. And then what you could do is to just add a conditional formatting. If the year is 2022, then you want to color this in gray. But then if you select 2023, for instance, then that would not be formatted like that. So what we can do is to add conditional formatting, and we want this to only be applied to the values in this case, since we don't have any totals yet. And we select the column index condition. In this case, we want to only apply the conditional formatting to the first column, so that's the number 0. So select equal to and then 0. And then what we want to apply is to add a gray background color. So let's do this light gray one. Then click apply. And then you see that this conditional formatting is added to the first column. And if I change the slicer here, you see that it's still on the first column that is shown. So now I've added a column subtotal here, showing the last actual value. So in this case, it's showing the 2023 values, since that's the latest year in the current context. Let's say that we want to add a measure inside of edit mode. I want to show this in thousands, so I call this actuals thousands. That's simply actuals divided by 1000. So now this looks quite nice and easy to set up, but we see that the subtotal is not showing in the same way as this one is. So what we have added in version 9 is the possibility to show last value in the aggregation field. So now if I select that one, you see that these values align with these ones. So now I can go back and change the slicer selection, and you see that this will be responsive to the slicer selection as well. A small but very nice feature that we have added to version 9 is the ability to copy cell values. So let's say that I want to send the total operating income to my boss. I can simply click this value and then Control C and then into my notepad and Control V. You see that this value is copied and pasted. Previously, if I wanted to display zeros as a number instead of this dash, I'll go to values, then options, and then display 0 under 0 values. Then you see that here it shows 0 for all the 0 values. But then it's not following the number of decimals that the measure has. So for the actual I have 2 decimals, but for the budget I have 0 decimals. What you can do now in version 9 is to click this format zeros on, and then you see it will follow the same number of decimals as the measure. So it's a quite nice. So the last feature I will show in this video is quite nice for those of you who are on the embedded license. And currently you have to add the license key to every visual in the format pane. When you have to update this license, then it requires a lot of time. If you have many reports with many pages, then it's a quite manual process. So what we have introduced now in version 9 is this license bucket. And to demonstrate, I've created this table called license key with only one row, and that's this license key here. And if I add this to this bucket, then this can be used instead of this license key here. So see now when I remove it, then don't get any watermark on the visual. That was all the new features for version 9. If you want to learn more about the financial reporting matrix, go to our GitHub. I'll link that in the description below. Here you'll find detailed information about both these new features as well as the existing features we have. And please like this video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the financial reporting matrix. Thank you for watching.